Hi, I'm Dana Obleman. This video is for my free sleep course for babies 4 to 6 months right here on YouTube. If you feel like you could use more guidance, then check out Sleep Sense Plus. The link is in the description below.
Good morning, welcome back. How did night 11 go? I hope it went well. Again, we cautioned that there might be a little bit of mild protest still going on, and that is a-okay, totally normal, and we're just going to push through it regardless. Now, occasionally, some children, it's almost like they need a little cry before they fall asleep. I can remember a good friend of mine who I helped with her son. This little guy, he just cried. He just gave a good, pretty hard cry for 5 minutes, and then he'd go to sleep. And he did this week after week, month after month, and we just had to decide that that was his temperament. And he is now 16, and that is exactly his temperament. So this has, personality does play a role. If you've got a really spirited little person, they just might be saying, hey, I don't want to sleep. No, thank you. No, thank you. Okay, fine. I'll go to sleep. It's just the nature of them, and that's what they need. It's almost like they kind of need to just get that out of their system a little bit, and then they go to sleep no problem. So again, don't panic if that's showing up for you. It might just be your child. It certainly won't last forever. I promise you that. They will not be 16 and still crying themselves to sleep at night. But for now, that's what's showing up. I want to give you another tip today about future travel. Travel tends to be a big snag point for a lot of parents, and they can lose the way pretty quickly when they take a trip, or else they're so afraid to ruin these really great sleep skills that they don't go anywhere for the remainder of the child's childhood. I don't want that either. Trips are lovely. Certainly some of my favorite memories are when we traveled when I was a kid and traveling with my parents. So I don't want to deprive you of that experience. But here's a few tips to keep in mind when you travel. The biggest mistake people make is that they overschedule themselves, right? They have so many plans and people to see that baby misses naps or she goes to bed too late, and a few days of this, and all of a sudden, when you put her down for bedtime, she just screams the house down for 45 minutes. And you're wondering, where did that come from? She never does this anymore. That is overtiredness because she's been pushed too hard. Then it becomes very difficult for her to use her own skills because too much overtiredness has set in. So you're going to have to monitor your plans and see if you can be home for at least 1 or 2 of the naps and get her to bed on time. I'll give you a little bit of wiggle room of, say, 30 minutes later for bedtime, or maybe you decide you'll get a sitter instead if you've got evening plans. You do have to make a few adjustments. Traveling with children is not the same thing as traveling alone or with your partner, so there is some things you need to keep in mind. But I would way rather do that, have my child sleeping well, continuing to sleep well, even if it means, being home being back at the hotel for bedtimes and things like that, then, run her ragged and end up suffering the consequences. Another big mistake people make is that they bed share. I don't understand this one. It baffles me every time I hear it, but people do. I guess they think, well, it'll just be easier if we all sleep in the same bed. Well, first of all, no one is used to that, right? Your baby's not used to that, and neither are you. So no one's going to get very good quality sleep if you're trying to bed share. And a few nights of bed sharing with you, especially if that's an old familiar memory, now she might demand this every single night, and 6 months later you're still bed sharing together because she's not that adaptable. So I suggest instead that you bring a pack and play, or ask the hotel if they have cribs that they will rent or loan you, and let baby sleep there. I even suggest that you build some sort of little partition in the room so that she's got her own space, let's say. Put the chairs, put her in the closet. I have had my child in the bathroom on occasion. Hotel bathrooms are usually pretty huge, so in goes the pack and play. And that way I can close the door when baby goes to sleep, and I can still maybe watch TV or watch a movie without disturbing the child. So that's absolutely an option. Because if your child wakes up, now with this age range, it's not as likely, but going forward, as your child gets older, if they wake up in the middle of the night and they see you, it's game over. You're the most exciting person in their life. They're so happy to see you right beside them that they're playing peekaboo with you for the next 2 hours before they finally fall back to sleep. So you're going to need to make sure that you keep in mind always that some sort of barrier between you and the child needs to occur. For us, we always looked for hotel rooms that had suites, the sort of 1-bedroom suite scenario. Then we could stick all of our children in the bedroom and we would sleep out on the hide-a-bed. And that just made traveling with them a whole lot easier, especially with a 7 o'clock bedtime. I don't really want to go to bed at 7 p.m., not quite. So that provided us a little bit of a buffer between the kids and us. All right, so keep that in mind. You want to also remember the lovey or the toy or the blankie, whatever is their sleep friend. Make sure you bring those things along. And just keep in mind, I know there's a lot of pressure sometimes from family members in particular that they see the child, that why are you following such strict rules with her sleep? We want to see her. She needs to come over to Auntie's house for dinner. Remember that you are the parent, which gives you absolutely all of the rights. You have the right to say, I'm sorry, we can't do that. Can we think of another alternative to visiting when it's not during sleep or nap time? You're the boss here, and that is okay. And you know what? People come around. They really do eventually come around, especially when they see that your child is happy and engaged and energetic and awesome when she's awake. And they'll also be proud to see her sleeping so well. Okay, we're going into night 12 tonight. Again, not a lot of big changes here. We're just leaving the room and seeing how she does through the night. If there's any nighttime wake-ups occurring, hopefully not, but again, not out of the realm of normal if they're still showing up now and then. If there are any nighttime wake-ups, I want you to handle them the same way. Just wait first 10 minutes and see if she can handle it on her own. And if not, then go with a leave and check strategy every 10 minutes until she goes back to sleep. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.